So, welcome back, guys. In our last lesson, we treated this. So, I'm going to run what we treated last on our last server. Okay, why we wait for it to load, I'm going to show us how to move around this Visual Studio Code environment. For those who doesn't know how to use Visual Studio Code environment, first, if you want to have this, for instance, when you install your Visual Studio Code, you might not have open with live server. So this top server will not be there, open browser will not be there. You're not going to have opening default browser, it's also not going to be there. So how do you install them? Just come to extension, click extension. Once you click extension, it will pop up a box. So you're going to click on that box, type open in browser, install it, type, can you see? It has pop up. You just type open in browser. Okay, let me type it. Open in browser. Same way you type open. Even by just typing open, it will bring open in browser out for you. Then see open in browser. You can install any of these. I've already installed this. You can open the current file with browser, can install this. Same way you can, there are many extensions you need if you want to install Python extension, PHP extension, guide with it. Live server. Yeah, I think two different live server or three. Yeah. So the latest live server and you can see reviewing live server. You can install it. I've installed this. I've also installed this particular live server. So that is all for this. If you are using JavaScript and you want to run your code from your VS Code, you can put your terminal. Your terminal will be below the screen. Can you see? So this way your JavaScript code will be running. So let me kill the terminal for now. Okay, so let's check what we did last week as a preview, since our live server has already loaded it. Good. Didn't load. Where's the let's run it. Control X and open with live server. So if you notice, can you see this? What we did last week? That's we did last week. So, and these are the code for it. These are the code for it. And this, can you see that? So, like I said, we are going to be dealing with more tag today, more tag, and we've done with this tag. We're going to deal with more tag and start introducing CSS to it. Like I said, we have both embedded CSS and inline CSS. So I'm going to be adding some inline CSS to it, and I'll tell us why we are using. Note, we have embedded CSS and we have inline CSS and we have external CSS. Now, for inline CSS, we are going to be putting CSS code in between the lines of your code, which is going to be, for instance, I put code here, CSS code in between the tag. In between the tag, I'll be putting your CSS code in between the tag. But for embedded CSS, I'm going to write my CSS code here. For instance, I'm going to do like this: style, style. So my CSS code will go in between this. All my CSS code will be here in between this place. That's how all my CSS code will be gonna be there. And if I'm writing JavaScript, my JavaScript is going to be below. And JavaScript is going to be below script. So then I close the script the same way I close CSS. Also slash. Oh, sorry. JavaScript.js. But then I don't want to go into CSS now. Sorry, JavaScript now, since we are not dealing with it now. But the JavaScript comes here, and also for external CSS, we have to write a new CSS file. All you need to do is create a file here, create a new file, save it into CSS folder. Once you are done, a new file will be created. That's where you write your CSS. All you need to do is to come to this place and put your CSS link above here. You just put your CSS link above. As easy as that, and it will be fetching your CSS code from here. But for now, let us go with inline CSS. So let me delete this. Okay. So go with inline CSS. For instance, if I want to add color to the body of the code, how do I do it? If I want to add color to the body of the code, how do I do it? So, in our previous CSS, I taught us something. I taught us about selector, property, and value. What's up? You're welcome. How are you doing?
What's up, my love? You're welcome.
Okay, what's up?
Specific.
What's up, my love?
Frank loves you. Money, give me a hug. Hug, mommy. This is me. I was expecting for your sake.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I'm cursing. Yo, what?
Exactly. Cool. Maybe I beg no one. You know what? Let me rest for you. I like this so much. That is what I'm going to stupid. B. Severe, I think. See your dick is out. Thank God you did your dress like that because me too. Something that I have in mind to my phone, just that. My boss I don't cost again.
Okay, please don't let your voice enter. I'm doing. So let us give this body a color in between this tag type style. Okay. In between the style, what are we going to do now? We are going to let assume this is the selector. So what we are going to do is give it a property color. What kind of color? Let us give it blue. Okay. Let us run this and see. Still loading. Let's wait for it. Okay. Can you see it? The old is blue. Now, what if okay, let me explain this. Let me put it straight. The reason why it like this, why the text is blue and the background is not blue, is because whenever you are giving a CSS color, and you just call the property color, it is for text color. But what of background? If you want to give it the background color, it's not just going to be a color, but rather the property is going to be background. Okay, let me remove everything. So we start over. Style. So you can decide to call it either background color or background. Then you give it a color. So I'm gonna give it a background color. Background color. Let us give it blue. Can you see that? Now, there are three ways you can give a CSS color. You can decide to give it just as a simple plain text, the color name blue, or you can use RGB. RGB, which stands for a combination of three colors, which is red, green, blue. So with RGB, you can give it the intensity of color you want. For instance, if you want your blue to be so thick, or you want your blue to be a bit lighter, you can be able to do it. But you can't do it if you just give it a color by just typing your text blue, yellow, green. You can't just do that. But on this one, using the RGB color, you can be able to do it. For instance, okay, let me run this and show you what I mean. If you have run it, let's wait for it to load. Okay, can you see the blue is deep, and maybe you want a faint blue. You can do that from just this, from just giving it this. Or you can do that using RGB. RGB, since RGB is a combination of three color, yellow, red, green, and blue. For instance, if you notice, the red is zero, the blue is zero, but the red is zero, the green is zero, and the blue is 255, 255. That is the deepest blue. So we are going to reduce the blue. We're going to reduce the blue. Now our red is 65, green is 65, our blue is 177. You know that? Can you see? So if you run it, you're gonna get this. You're gonna get, can you see, a lighter blue, a lighter blue. Likewise, if we want to give it any color of our choice, we can still do that. But then if you want to color this now, from what we've learned above, we can still do it. Give it a different color style, background. Let us use background. Let us give it color yellow. Let's give it yellow. So and run this. Can you see? You see? So same thing if you want to give color to everything, everything. So I'm going to explain again. This and in CSS, this this is a property. This is the property value. This is the selector. But since it's an inline, you might not really understand. For instance, if I want to write this code in as embedded CSS to just to explain the property and the selector I'm talking about, I wanted to tell you to warm that soap. It's too thick. If you add water and warm it, it's too thick. Not for me, but for you, it's too thick. If you enjoy it that way, no problem. Smell everything. So, so let me create an embedded CSS. So I'm going to close this CSS. Okay, as an embedded CSS, I want to color this. Let me delete this. Let me delete this inline CSS. Let me delete this inline CSS. I want to color this. First, I'm going to make a reference to this UL. I'm going to create it UL. Then curly brace. I put my curly brace, then property comes in. I put my curly brace, then property comes in. So I put my curly brace, then the property. The property should be background color. Then let's give it green. Give it green. So this is a selector. This is a selector. This is a property, and this is a value. Okay, can you even see it? Can you see selector, property, then the value? Okay, so if we run this is what you get. Oh, it's still loading. Can you see? So it still work, but what the difference between inline, embedded, and external CSS? Embedded CSS. Okay, let me start from inline. Inline CSS makes your work rough and not really readable, missing CSS inside HTML tag. If you want to debug or troubleshoot your code, most likely it will be difficult. It makes your code rough, putting codes CSS inside. But embedded CSS, it's easy because your CSS is on a separate place. It's just at the top here of your HTML, separate place. Can you see? Just in a separate place. But external CSS is even more easier because your CSS will be in a different file entirely. So that's all for CSS. Let's proceed with another HTML tag today. So in our next class, we'll start adding CSS to it fully, but we are going to be using embedded CSS mostly. Then from there, we can move into external CSS, or on your own, you can move into external CSS, but we're not going to use inline CSS because it doesn't really. Okay, so today we're going to look at the form and the button tag. The button tag is, for instance, let me create a form. Form, can you see? Then input, type, text. Then you can decide to put, okay, let's use name instead of value, name, placeholder, username. Okay, here again, input, type, password. I didn't put anything here. Name equal username. Username. So okay, sorry. Username. Gonna take one of this out. Good. So here I'm going to enter password, name, password, then placeholder. Placeholder. The placeholder, I'm gonna make it password. So if you do this, good, do this, put this. Okay. If you run this is what you're gonna do. This is what you're gonna do. Can you see? Okay. Oh, there's a particular code we didn't close. Although the form is already up. We have created the form, but this stuff is not there. So how are we going to do it? We're going to there's a particular code we didn't close that is affecting our form. So we're going to check what's happening. Form is closed. Form is closed. From here, username, password. So what did we not close that is affecting the rest of the code? Let me check the body tag. Okay, let me run it again and see. Override protocol. Okay, I see. So I'm going to fix this now. Mhm. Yes. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you can find me. So we've fixed it. Can you see? If you run this, uh, if you run this, you're gonna have uh okay, let me explain this code. This is the form tag. Inside the form, you have the input. This input create the box. It creates the input box you're seeing. Then the type specify the type of box it is used for. This placeholder is this text you are seeing inside. Username. Username. That is the placeholder you are seeing inside. Oh, let me change this placeholder to password. Placeholder to password. So if you run it, you're going to have a password there. Then the username just shows just username. So if you check it, can you see the placeholder is password? So if you text it, yeah, we have, can you see our password? But if you make this if you make this if you make this password a text, it's going to appear a plain text. Your password will not be encrypted. Your password will not be encrypted. It will just be as plain as it. So you have to use the password. So that's all for it. So lastly, on this video, I'm going to create a button. So button, you close your button, submit or login. Login. So if you do this, you're gonna have this. You see your button? Can you see? So let me put the password. Let me assume this. Let me assume. Let me put the username. Right. And this side will be the password, which is going to be the so, and the next thing you are going to click to submit. Submit. So we have submitted. So if you refresh, you will see this. Can you see it's gone already? So in our next section, we are going to be coloring it using coloring the form, breaking down the form, making it more beautiful using the CSS, embedded CSS. You have any question, feel free to drop your question